This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Hello, welcome to Unequal Sequel
Extra.
Hello everyone, welcome to a Friday edition of your, yes you, the one in the back, your favourite sequel-based podcast.
Yes. It's got to be someone's favourite, right?
I think maybe we are in a few cases, and that's nice, because when we started this, we were like, oh, let's just hope someone listens. And then...
I was just really excited when someone we didn't know listened.
Very
that was
nice.
Well,
I think it's easier to get someone you don't know than you do know to listen to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, true. But to start off with, it was only people we knew that were listening.
I'm not quite sure they listened either, Rich, to be honest. My wife's like, no, I hear you all the time. And
my wife said the same, yeah.
Our best friends that we talk to most day in our group chat, they're like, great. And then I've just done this podcast, the Tom Cruise one. I had our friend James on it. And I was like, are you actually going to listen to it? You're on it. And he's like, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, sure. And I said, will you, James? Will you? And has he replied to that message? Has he fucked?
No, of course he hasn't. But I mean, James is a bad example, right? Like, he didn't even know what a podcast was. You know, that's...
Yes, it's a problem. It was a problem. We tried to start a podcast with him once and he still didn't know what a podcast was.
That is true. I have listened to that episode of the Great Tom Cruise Cake Quest.
Thank you.
And it is very funny.
Thanks. Just about to start planning episode 3.
Lovely.
I had to order a film off the internet.
Oh.
Because it's apparently quite hard to get hold of.
What is it?
It's called Losing It.
Right. Okay.
From 1982 or 3.
Oh, I think I've seen that. Is that where they try and lose their virginity?
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems to be the one film that Tom Cruise does not talk about in any interviews.
Because it's massively inappropriate.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm about to watch it when it hopefully comes through the door. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, let's not talk about my other podcast that you can listen to now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all other good pod shops. It is available, episodes 1 and 2, featuring Rich on episode 1. Let's not talk about that anymore until the end. We are doing a ranking episode.
We are. We haven't done one for ages.
Do you remember the last one we did?
No, I don't.
I knew you would forget. Let me tell you. It was the Twilight franchise.
Oh, yes.
Back in February.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's only right that I would forget that.
Oh, I've rubbed that franchise from my brain.
Franchise.
So when we came up to this, because the other week was just Alien Romulus was just released, and then we got chatting about it, and we found out that Rich hadn't seen 2 of these films. He's now seen 2 of these films.
I've seen both of them, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we thought this might be a good time to actually rank the Alien films. And
because I have seen all 9 of the movies. So,
Incredible scenes. So we are going to be doing ranking Alien franchise from worst to best.
And it includes Alien versus Predators as well, doesn't it? At least I hope it does. Otherwise, I've watched that for no reason.
It includes Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, AVP 1, AVP 2, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant, and Alien Romulus. Not in that order.
No. Maybe. Who knows? Some people might put it in that order.
Yeah, they might do. That'd be a bit weird.
It's wild, but
We have talked a lot about the Alien franchise on our interview episodes with our brilliant guests that pick their best, worst dream sequel, disappointing sequels, their surprising sequels, their sequels that are better than the original, all the other questions that we've asked them. They've come up a lot. So we've watched, Aliens a lot, and someone's picked Alien 3, Prometheus, Alien Covenant as best. They've all been in there.
I would say, other than Alien and Aliens, I've only watched the rest of the movies for this podcast.
Really?
Actually, no, not Prometheus. Prometheus I saw at the cinema by accident, not realising it was an Alien movie.
Well, very lucky.
So there are 3 of the 9 that I watched off my own back, and the other 6 I've only watched for this podcast.
Wow. That's incredible. Was the first one that came up was actually AVP 2, wasn't it? That's Cameron.
It was,
episode 4.
Cameron threw in, way back in season 1. One of the best episodes still for me to this day, because introduced me to The Guest, which is a brilliant movie, and we watched Alien vs Predator Requiem, one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Well, there's a hint.
So there's a hint. There is a hint.
Shall we get started then at at number 9? So if anyone hasn't seen these Alien films, go and watch them, but we're hopefully not going to spoil them too much. I mean, maybe the older ones, because they've been out for ages, but maybe not Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah, like Alien's older than me. Like, come on.
Yeah, and we are old, apparently. Geriatric.
Geriatric millennials, I think a reviewer's just called us. I quite like that. Yeah. I'm going to put it in my CV.
Whoever sent that message, it made us laugh a lot. Thank you.
It did. Thank you. We appreciate that. We will riddle this with spoilers just for you.
It's a perfect description of us. 5 stars.
Yeah.
Okay. At number 9, your worst ever one. It's got to be the same as mine, so might as well
get Alien vs Predator Requiem, because it's fucking awful.
It is bad. Where do you want to start with it? From 2007, Alien vs Predator, Requiem.
I think we should start with the horrific editing. Maybe the terrible lighting.
That's,
and the fact that virtually nothing new happens. It was very, very boring script, really.
Yeah. The first time I ever watched this, I think I've mentioned it before, I actually thought it was better than the original Alien vs Predator. That has now changed because I've recently watched Alien vs Predator again.
Yes.
And this one is very much bottom of the pile. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes audience critics agree it's at 12%, which is the worst out of all of these films.
Oh, okay.
But first time I watched it, I thought, that's better than the original. But the original I always thought was terrible. That's a spoiler for you. But rewatching it, just how bad the editing was, the scripts, the lighting where you can't see anything.
They do this big reveal of the Alien, the Predator. Sorry if spoilers. There's a big reveal of the Predator Alien hybrid, and it's so dark you have no idea what it is.
No.
Like, it's just a mass. It's just a blob of stuff. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's so wild that they made films of aliens and predators fighting boring and bad.
Yeah.
And we've waited a long time in this franchise for things to happen on planet Earth.
It should have been cool. It should have been cool.
Silly characters doing silly things, and some of them just go missing halfway through it, and it's truly terrible.
The whole Alien versus Predator thing, I also have a big question for you, but I think maybe we'll talk about that in AVP when we get to that.
Fair enough.
Because I'm not sure how it all works. But anyway, we'll talk about when we get to that.
So the first time you saw this was for the Cameron episode, right?
Yeah. So the first time I watched Requiem before I watched Alien versus Predator, and I don't think that mattered at all.
They're very loosely based together. The only thing that bases them together is that the Pred-Alien thing.
Yes.
From the end of the first one.
Which again, is based on the spoilers, the last 3 seconds of the first movie, I would say.
There is one disturbing scene in Requiem. It's the birth giving scene when he impregnates pregnant women pretty much. And I don't really like that scene.
No, it's horrible. It is horrible. Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's probably more violent and gorier, but it doesn't really affect you so much because you can't see it.
Well, after what happened with Alien vs Predator, a lot of people accused that of not being adult enough. They tried to pander to a PG-13 market again. So they try to step it up slightly. The only problem is you can't see what's going on when they try to step it up.
And what they do step up is very much the gore and the violence without any of the scariness. Like there's nothing scary in it. It's horrible, but not scary. Which is a shame. Like I said, these films should have been good when you've got those two franchises coming together. I'm surprised they made a second one after the first one, to be honest. Shall we go on to our number 8? Yes, and this one might surprise people. I think this might be a bit of a hot take.
Oh, okay. This is already
for me.
I'm gonna.
So I think for me, this whole Alien franchise is you have 2 great movies, then a couple of okay movies, and then some very bad movies. So these first ones we're going to talk about, I think they're all very bad. But personally, having just watched it, I think Alien Resurrection is my number 8. I think it's fucking horrible.
Oh, this is interesting. This is already different to my rankings.
Good.
So.
And I think that would probably be different to most people's rankings. Because I think people generally think that movie is not good, but maybe the best of the worst. I don't.
At what points did it not work for you? And have you now... after seeing the end of Romulus and the end of Resurrection, can you kind of see what I was trying to not tell you?
Yes, I can. You were trying to tell me there's a really horribly derpy alien human hybrid thing. Again, I'm sorry. We're spoiling this movie, but it's from 1997.
Yes,
so,
yes,
you know, you had your chance. I hate Ripley's character in it. I hate the clone's character. She doesn't feel like Ripley. It's weird. I don't like it. They should have done it without Ripley. They didn't need her. So the CGI is really bad. Like it's so 90s. It's so 90s. The editing is all over the place. It's laughable. Honestly, it's laughable. I no fucking clue what Ron Perlman's doing.
Oh.
I don't think he knows what he's doing. I would say the reason it's not bottom is I think Winona Ryder's fairly okay in it.
Wow, that was how close it nearly came to bottom for you.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
I really, really hated it. I really hate it. The aliens swimming underwater made me want to punch myself in the face.
Oh, wow, that's one of the cooler scenes in that film.
I know it is, and it's shit.
At that point, when people first watched that, like, oh, we haven't seen that before, aliens swimming or whatever.
Yeah, but the CGI is so bad. And again, I'm watching this from a modern lens.
It was 1997.
If I'd seen it in 97, maybe then I would have thought differently. But I didn't have any fun with it. I didn't find anything like there are movies that I still don't like, but I've got elements of fun in them with some actual thrills. Whereas I didn't get anything from this at all.
Amazing. Yeah. I wonder what you were going to pick of this one, especially after talking about Romulus last week. You talking about viewings, I was like, just you wait.
Oh, I genuinely hate that fucking thing at the end. Like that derpy fucking alien hybrid thing. Like, I hated it.
Mama? Pretty much.
Oh my God, it's awful. It is terrible. I quite liked the Winona Ryder's android reveal.
Yeah.
You know, I quite liked that. I didn't know that.
I had to keep that quiet from you last week as well.
That was a spoiler. And I quite enjoyed that. I hated the derpy fucking alien.
Can you see that this is directed by the same person that did Amelie?
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know that. I thought it was... Oh, no, it's Alien vs. Predator was Paul W.S. Anderson, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, I didn't know it was the same person that did Amelie. I wouldn't... even now you've told me, I find it hard to believe.
Well, I remember at the time when this came out that them trying to get Ripley back into an Alien film because of what happens at the end of Alien 3.
Yes.
And How did you feel they handled that with the cloning?
Really badly.
But did you not think when they go through the room, there's all the different offshoots of Ripley and what's gone wrong?
No,
right?
Do you know what I thought was? I was like, had to kind of get some boobs in there, didn't they?
French.
They had to do it. Had to do it. Couldn't have just had a cloth over or anything, could they? No. I was like, it's just horrible. It's gory and rough and not fun.
Okay.
I just didn't find it fun.
I understand about that. Should I tell you my number 8?
Yes, go for it.
My number 8 was 2004's Alien versus Predator.
I'm not going to tell you where I put Alien versus
Predator.
No,
I won't tell you where I've got Resurrection either. But for me, it, like I said earlier, I thought it was worse than AVP2, and that's only changed recently. I remember we went to see this at university. You might have been there. Actually, you weren't there because you haven't seen it.
I wasn't there, no. Definitely not.
We went and saw this at university, and there's a point when you think the Alien and Predator are literally going to make out, and the whole audience laughed. And I can't have that in an Alien film. Well, it happened in Romulus the other day as well, and I was like, "Oh, that's made me angry." The line of "whoever wins, we lose" line, it's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. Yeah,
the woman wins. Paul W.S. Anderson is one of my worst directors ever, and I remember being really excited for this film. Really excited because I've read some graphic novels and I thought, oh my God, Alien and Predator in the same film. We're going to get big Marines, big guns. And they released a short snippet beforehand. And I think it's a cutaway in the film of like loads of aliens attacking a few predators on like the, whatever it is.
That's like a
and
like
they showed that.
Isn't it?
They showed that and I thought, fucking hell, look how cool that is. That's going to be amazing. And then you get to the film and it's barely there. It's only above Alien vs. Predator 1 because I like the premise. I think there's some good ideas there. Yeah. I just think it's made by a horrible director with some awful characters who are all fodder and, just there to die, which kind of is the Alien vs. Predator way, but there are ways to make your characters 3D a little bit. And the way they tried to make it, like I said earlier on, a PG-13 kind of film. Oh man, I hated this film for so long.
And then 2 came along.
And I remember watching 2 in the cinema and thought, oh, that's better than the first one. But I've recently gone back and watched the first one. And like I said, the premise, I like the idea. I think there's ideas in that Alien vs. Predator that are okay. I like the idea of the Weyland-Yutani bit still hovering and got there, at least they're trying to link that in a little bit. You got Lance Henriksen, which was quite cool at that point. You think, okay, that's who Bishop was on.
And his name is Charles Bishop Weyland as well, so his middle name is Bishop, so that's who Bishop is.
It all works, and the idea that a predators are sent to a certain place to like train or whatever and test themselves.
I do. I kind of like the premise. I kind of like we'll talk about it when I get to it.
When the alien, the predator and the human team up, that's when I want to like stab myself in my leg and just say, stop it.
Okay.
But I liked the sacrilege chamber bit when, everything moving around. Like, it's pretty cool stuff. Just the characters and the script and the director, and it's just awful. And if they ever do an Alien versus Predator, whatever, God, let's have a good director direct it this time. Someone who actually has some credentials, because both those AVP films are just crud with rubbish directors. So
yeah. Talking of good directors and Alien movies, my number 7 is it's a really good director directed an Alien movie. It's Alien 3, David Fincher's Alien 3. That should be amazing, right?
Mine is also number 7.
Yeah. It's really bad. It's really bad. Nothing pays off. It screams of studio interference. It looks boring. It is boring. There's nothing in it that's in any way kind of fun or thrilling. It's a genuinely bland beige movie, and that's kind of unforgivable for an Alien film, I find.
Yes. It's down there for me because of what they've done right at the beginning of the film. As soon as it starts,
Everything interesting happens off camera.
Happens off camera, and it happens to the people you wanted to see again after Aliens. And you're like, what is going on? What? How? And like you said, you've gone from Aliens, which is this incredible film where so much happens and so much tension, whatever, and then
looks beautiful, and that's the thing I can't get past in Alien 3. It just looks so muddy.
They're on a jail
and
whatever it is.
I get that, but you could still make it look good. Like the first Aliens is in a fucking mining thing, isn't it? Like, it doesn't look great.
It's just on a ship as well,
It's on a ship. The second one isn't in anywhere glamorous. Like, you could make the space prison look good. It just doesn't, right?
It does feel like just the budget was shafted for this third one. Like, we've only got, again, back to one alien or whatever wandering around. I mean, it's got the dog scene. It's got the death of Ripley
as well.
Yeah. It's got the death of Ripley. I mean, it's got no standout scenes. I mean, Charles Dance's character is quite interesting, and then they kill him. The relationship, he's just about getting started with Ripley, and then that ends. And it's just, like you said, it's pretty dull. It's very dull, in fact. And like it feels like a film that's had studio problems.
Yes.
This is quite new to you, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I can't remember if I've seen it before the podcast. I can't have done, because I would have remembered. So I think I only watched it. I think I actually watched it for Chris's episode that we did back in season 3.
Yes.
It wasn't one of his picks, but he did lots of Alien choices, and I think I watched Alien 3 then, because I'd rewatched Aliens and stuff.
He definitely picked Aliens and Prometheus, best and worst.
Yeah, and I think I watched Alien 3 back then just to watch it, and then obviously Jay picked it in season 6 and as his worst sequel, and I thoroughly agree, it's crap.
It is crap, and it is so. Doesn't feel like a David Fincher film, does it?
It really doesn't. No,
I would love to see a David Fincher
could do
alien
an incredible alien film.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, and obviously it was his first movie. Lots of studio interference. There are lots of reasons why it's not good, but it's just a shame. It's just a real shame.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 7, and your number 7.
Number 7, just basically because of what happens at the beginning when they killed all the characters that you care about and want to spend time with, and then you're put with a bunch of people you don't really care, and the storyline's not really up to anything. It's like most of the film's like a who done it, and we're like, it's the alien's done it.
Yeah, the alien's done it, we know who's done it. So I'm presuming your number 6 is going to be Alien Resurrection now.
Yes, number 6 is Alien Resurrection.
So my number 6 is Alien versus Predator.
Oh, okay.
I only because these 4 movies are all bad, right?
Yes.
So Resurrection, Alien 3, AVP and AVP 2, all bad movies. But of all those movies, I had the most fun with AVP.
Fucking hell, Rich.
I know, right? It's the characters are shit, the writing is terrible, but there are some fun concepts that I kind of liked. But I do have a massive question.
Go on.
About... Now, I thought, like, Prometheus happens in the future, right? It's our future as humans.
The beginning of Prometheus probably isn't, but yes.
Right, okay. So I want to know how the timeline works, because how are there aliens in, like, ancient civilization if aliens don't exist until the future? I genuinely don't understand that timeline. I was hoping you could explain it to me.
I don't think anyone understands that timeline, because one, Alien vs. Predator was done way before Prometheus. And let's be honest, are these really connected loosely or with any thought whatsoever between all of them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the aliens were secret in the past?
Yeah, maybe. But I thought we saw the aliens being created. I thought Prometheus was all about the engineers creating the aliens.
Yeah, but that was off planet. Yes, but they must have been created. I don't know, Rich.
I don't know either. This is why I was asking you.
I've never really thought about it, to be honest, because I've blanked most of Alien vs. Predator stuff from my head.
Okay, that's fair.
Sorry, but yeah. So you think it's?
I think AVP is fun and therefore gets a couple of extra milli points from me.
Unbelievable.
Like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Alien versus... sorry, not Alien. Alien Resurrection's my number, 6 now?
6, yeah.
I remember, again, for the same reason you've just picked AVP, I had a bit of fun with Alien Resurrection, to be honest. This bad rogue band of bandits stuck into this hellhole of a space station, try and get out from one side to the other. I enjoyed that. Alien Clone Ripley, I liked another form of Ripley, how she was a little bit angry. The ending is atrocious.
Horrible. Yeah.
I remember watching that at the time and thinking, oh my God, they've shit the bed here. It's Mama, pretty much that bit. I was like, oh. We've fallen long and hard from Aliens and Alien from here. But I remember watching that when I got the quadrilogy box set. Do you remember that? Such a beautiful box set back in like 2003, 2004, when companies actually really cared about box sets and stuff and really how it looked. And that's when they just released the director's cut of Aliens, and then the weird producer cut of Alien 3, whatever it's called.
All right.
And that was the first time. So I watched them all 4 in a row, and the quality is very different between all of them. But I have fun with Alien Resurrection. I like you said, Winona Ryder character's fine. I liked the swimming scenes. I liked the Brad Dourif as the clever girl kind of doctor is in there. There's stuff in there that's pretty cool, but it's not enough to really love it. I'm not going to
no
get angry or whatever.
There wasn't enough in there for me to even slightly like it, I'm afraid.
That's understandable.
I didn't like it at all.
Apparently written by Joss Whedon.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
Or some of it was one of the first drafts.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Okay, so now are we getting to the part one? We can just
we're getting to where we've got some okay movies. I think we can talk about.
I think we can agree with this. Yes.
Okay.
So what's next for you?
Alien Covenant is next for me.
Okay.
I like this movie. I think it's okay. I'm not one of these people that hate the prequel Alien movies. I think this one's all right. I especially like Michael Fassbender's David. I think he's very good. I think there are some slightly derpy moments in it, but I think it is scary. I think the ending's great. I like the ending. I kind of wish we'd got a third one to follow up that ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it.
Cool.
What's yours? Yours is different. Okay.
Mine's different. I've gone for Prometheus.
Okay.
And it's only different from yours because I think Prometheus has got more derpy characters and derpy ideas.
True. You are probably right. Prometheus has more stupid people in it.
I know why I went into Prometheus knowing it was an alien.
And that's why Prometheus is higher for me, because of that first time I watched it.
It must have been great.
It was great. I was like, I came out of it on a high.
Aesthetically,
really did.
Prometheus looks amazing. There's some really nice scenes in it and stuff. But they made some really dumb choices of just like the Charlize Theron character. When she just turned left or right, she would have survived. I mean, everyone's shouting at the camera at that point on the screen.
But everyone in there does stupid things, like the map reading guy who gets lost. The biologist guy takes his mask off. They all make stupid choices.
The bad-looking Guy Pearce, old man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not good, is it? Yeah. It is all a bit kind of. I agree with you. And if I hadn't seen Prometheus with that kind of cold open to it, essentially, I would agree with you that they should be the other way round. But because it's my choice, I'm putting it at 4 and Covenant at 5.
I agree with you because the build up to Prometheus, for me, they did a really good job PR. I don't know if you remember it well. I was working in a company at that point.
No, because I didn't know it was an alien movie.
Oh no, but even the film wise, they were like, "Oh, this is another Ridley Scott and like he's making another alien film, UFO, whatever.
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi film.
What I'd seen was it's a Ridley Scott sci-fi.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, we know Ridley Scott can do sci-fi. We've seen Alien. So, like, yeah.
And I remember friends who went and saw it at Secret Cinema. They did a big thing for Secret Cinema, and thought it was amazing. Things they did that. They let loose that it was an alien film. I had a friend at the time who worked at Pinewood on sets, and he was like, I've seen an alien, so it's an alien film. And I was like, oh, okay, it's an alien film. It was like a badly kept secret, but not like you, I've always had like film gossip. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
2012, I was fully not involved in that sort of world.
I was so deep into all that kind of crap. Or still am, to be honest. And just coming out from Prometheus, I remember being disappointed. I would say that would be one of my disappointed sequels.
I think if I'd had the build-up, I might have been disappointed too. But because it didn't have any of the build-up, I think it was,
Covenant is above this for me because I think it does better at building atmosphere, and more I think about it, more I love the ending. I love the ending so much of that film, and I want to see what happens when she suddenly realizes that's David, and then he puts her to sleep. Fucking hell, that's a brilliant ending. You like the terror that she must now have, whirling around in her head, and then he cuts to him whistling or whatever, playing his flute with all the.
Oh, he's doing the fingering.
And it's got some fantastic scenes before that. The bit when the actual alien bursts in that little spacecraft kind of thing, and the stupid doctor, and that's all great. And I like when they land on the island, the planet, and the atmosphere it builds. It does a better job than Prometheus does for me. It's not a brilliant alien film. There are misguided steps and stuff like that. It never quite takes off, but I like the way it looks.
I don't think it ever quite gets the terror right.
No, I think it's quite close in places.
Yeah,
but it
just
never quite
gets it.
Yeah.
And when it is almost there, it ends up being that little bit derpy. Like when the little baby alien running around and stuff, I'm just like, that was a bit stupid.
What is her name? Catherine Waterston? Is that her name?
Yes, Catherine Waterston.
She's the closest that anyone's got to a Sigourney Weaver Ripley.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. And Billy Crudup's in it as well, right? He's pretty good. Great cast.
Really, Danny
McBride's in it. Yeah. That's again, all pretty good though. Like
more I watch Covenant, the more I like it. And I remember going to see it in the cinema the first or second day it was out, and the cinema's pretty quiet. And I was like, where is everyone for this alien film? And it didn't connect with me the first time, but I've watched it a couple of times since, and I'm getting more into it. And we've had, who picked it?
Clarice, I think. Clarice Lockery picked it, right?
Clarice picked it. And the way she described it, she won me over. And when I watched it again, I watched it beforehand, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to watch it. And a few months later, and I watched it again, I thought, no, this is growing on me. And that ending is a banger, and it really sits with you. And I really would like to see another film connected to that, see where that goes, what Fassbender can do with that character and stuff. It's just, I think it's truly terrifying, that ending.
Yeah. Agreed. So on to number 3. I think we're going to have the same number 3.
I think we are, yes.
Because it's Alien Romulus, right?
Alien Romulus from 2024.
I don't see how anyone could have a different number 3. Because, it just is. Like, the ending's crap. But if you cut the last 15 minutes off, it's a great film.
I did a TikTok survey the other day that I do, if you follow us on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
I said, we reviewed Alien Romulus. Were you a fan of that third act? And I gave 2 options. Big fan, or it ruined it. 93% big fan, 7% ruined it.
What? What? Who follows us on TikTok?
A TikTok younger generation thing. But it got a fair few votes as well, and I was surprised.
Wow, me too.
But other people I've spoken to agree with us, like human people I've spoken to, agree with us. That 3/4 of that film, really good. Yeah. It looks and feels like an alien film. It feels like someone who has a vision and who understands the lore and everything about those films. And then it takes the big dolphin swing.
Yeah. They're like, why, of all the Alien movies you've got to pick from, why go to Resurrection to get your kind of final baddie from.
I'm surprised they went there again,
sake.
kind of thing.
Like, you picked the worst one. Unless you'd done the Pred Alien in the dark.
But they tried to link it more to the Prometheus black goo than the clonage of.
Yeah, I know, and that doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
But let's talk about the positive of why it's number 3. Why is it number 3 for you? And it's not because they did that stupid thing with the line or the character.
No, I don't like the Rook character, and I don't like the cheesy line. But it does. It's scary in places. It doesn't not as scary as Alien, but then not many things are, and it doesn't. But it does have that kind of dread. It leans more on the facehuggers than the aliens, I think, for the
use of facehuggers is the best in the whole of this series.
Because actually, I find the facehuggers more horrifying than the aliens, personally.
The up-close shot of those, what's happening is when...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Really good.
And then I think that it kind of... It did bring some kind of new... it didn't hark back to Ripley... it was new characters. That's why I didn't like the Rook character, because I don't think it needed that harping back. But yeah, we talked about this at length last week, really. But
if you want to know what we felt about Alien Romulus, go check out the last episode. But me and Rich both sat there for most of that film with a big smile on our faces, thinking, "Oh my god, they're actually."
A few bits where you're like,
they're pretty much nailing. They're really good build up. The cast are really, the two main cast members are really good.
Oh, yeah. David Johnson is incredible. Like, incredible.
The future that, I can't wait to see what he does next. And we both have an issue of what happens in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that really made me angry for a while. Luckily, we didn't record straight after we watched, because otherwise I would have been really horrible.
You would have been, yeah.
But I can now appreciate what happened before that. And I think it's really good. And I'm really glad that it's better than what we've talked about, the AVPs and the Resurrections and the Alien 3. And I just think it's more of a director that has both hands on the steering wheel. And I think that's where the other films have pretty much got lost, especially the AVPs and Alien 3 and Resurrection. Just feels like they've just, one hand's come off a bit and it's spun off somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, you may love the ending of this one, and that's good for you.
But not us.
Not us.
Okay.
Right.
I've got a feeling our top 2 will be the same.
Okay, so you're number 2.
My number 2 is Alien.
My number 2 is Alien as well.
I
did wonder if we were both going to change here.
I had a feeling. Yeah, no, it's really, really close.
it's so close.
It's a hair's breadth between these
comparing
two
masterpieces.
It is.
It depends what flavour you like.
They're very different masterpieces in different ways. Yeah. And I think I just lean a little bit towards action rather than horror.
Yes.
Maybe. But Alien is a beautiful movie. It's incredibly well shot. If you watch it now, it doesn't feel like it was made in 1979. Sigourney Weaver's performance is incredible.
Yep, Oscar nominated.
And deservedly so.
Yep.
It's an incredibly good movie. It would be an incredibly good movie if it was a serial killer movie set on Earth. It doesn't have to be the Alien. Because the writing is good, the direction is good. But those practical effects in that movie are just take it to another level.
Oh, the build-up of tension and stuff.
Absolutely. It's so good. So good.
Imagine not knowing what happens at that breakfast table for the first time and how incredible and surprising and horrifying that would have been. Oh, man. Different time. I like how Ripley slowly comes the main character. Like in most of the other films you've mentioned, they make a big, this one's the main character. She's gonna, Ripley in the Alien film slowly evolves into the main character. And they make her at the beginning a very kind of unlikable character, because not letting the people back on the ship or whatever. And you're like, she's not a team player kind of thing, but she is right. She's bloody right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She's not likable. She isn't likable. And I don't think she's likable. I mean, she gets more human in Aliens, I would say, but she's not particularly likable until the end of Aliens, I think. She's got a hard character.
She's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Before the alien and after. I mean, space must be hard in a,
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what we can say about Alien that people haven't said already, because it
is a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. It is.
And like you said, it's you're either going to like that haunted house feel kind of thing, or a bit more action. And it depends the flavour you like your movies, probably, and how.
Yeah. And but it's close. Like I say, it really is millimeters of difference.
The music, the use of sound, the use of, like you said, the practical effects, the acting, all brilliant. Stupid cat.
And it's such a slow burn.
Oh, such
a slow burn.
It's so intriguing. You're watching, you're like, oh my God, what is that? And you're like, oh, and then the breakfast scene, and then it kind of goes, whoa. And it's just great. Flamethrowers, Scary. They actually make the alien scary. Just one of them really scary, which they failed to do in so many other these films.
Yeah.
You can see why they've based a whole franchise on this thing.
Yes.
It's a great film.
You can, yeah.
But Aliens is number one for me, is because I find it more watchable, if that makes sense. I enjoy it more.
It's an action movie rather than a horror movie.
It's quotable. It's fun. It's scary. It still scares the shit out of me because of the beats.
But it's also got all those James Cameron beats of found family and, all that kind of stuff that you get in his movies. You can instantly tell that Aliens is a James Cameron movie.
Yes.
Right? It looks like a James Cameron movie. It's, he has a style and it comes across in that. You can Aliens and Terminator 2 have a language where they interlock in their kind of visual style, their storytelling style. And if you were around in the mid-80s, like I was 5 when Aliens came out, so I was a bit young for it.
I was 1.
But everyone talked about it, man. Everyone. It was when you're 7, if you've not seen Aliens, everyone's like, whoa, you got to see Aliens. No one's talking about like, oh, you got to see Alien, because we were too young.
Yeah.
Alien was too scary. Aliens, that was accessible for us as like 7, 8, 9-year-olds.
There are films nowadays that still wish they could look and sound and be as good as Aliens and Alien from 1979 and 1986. They've aged so well.
And the characters you get in Aliens, so good.
Aliens
it's funny without being derpy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing with Aliens. It's funny without being derpy. And then you get to Alien like Resurrection, and it's so derpy. Like, it's like you forgot everything that was good about Aliens. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time someone picks Aliens, I think I'm going to rewatch Aliens, and I pretty much do. And just how the bad guy is Paul Reiser, and that slowly happens as well a little bit when you think he's a good old businessman, whatever he is, but don't trust company men.
No.
Especially in this franchise.
Especially not the Weyland-Yutani company.
They're all
Jesus.
bastards.
And we've talked about Aliens a lot because it's come up a lot in the thing, and it is because it is an example of a sequel. I think that is very, very slightly better than the original. Only slightly, but I do think it's better.
It's a big argument a lot of people have.
I do think a lot of people think that though. I think it's scores higher on Rotten Tomatoes
by 1%.
Is it by 1%? Is that's
what I'm looking at?
I knew it would be close. But I did think that's one of the I do remember that being one of the occasions where we've talked about sequels that are better than the original.
Yes.
I think Aliens is one that kind of comes to mind.
And when we started this podcast, we were like, okay, these ones are going to come up a lot. Aliens, Dark Knight, Terminator 2, I would say was the big ones. And they're not wrong. When someone picks Aliens, you're like, well, yeah. You're not wrong.
That's probably the right answer.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like the use of Newt in that film to have that storyline go on as well.
Oh, like
more than one Aliens. Again, oh, God,
I don't think I could pick a line from Alien. I couldn't quote a line from Alien, but I could sit there and go, "They mostly come at night."
Yeah,
mostly.
It's game over, man. Game over.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Yeah, there's 3 bits. The initial attack when they were first coming out the walls is brilliant. Yeah. The second one, when they've barricaded themselves into a room and they think they've blocked it all off, and the beep, and it's like, oh, that's inside the borders, and like, that's inside the room, and you're like, fuck, that's inside the room, and then they look up above them and they're all crawling in the vents, and you're like, oh, and they're all underneath. Brilliant scene. And obviously, when you think they're safe and sound and off the ship, and there's still that incredible battle between Sigourney Weaver and the alien queen. That film goes hard for all the runtime.
And it hits every beat right.
There's nothing wasted there.
No.
And then you get Alien 3 and you think, what was the point of all those brilliant characters?
Yeah. Just sack it all off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's our Alien ranking, right? I'd be interested to know what people thought and what other people's Alien rankings are.
Absolutely.
Maybe you've got completely different ideas. Maybe Alien vs Predator Requiem is your favourite Alien movie. If it is, I suggest you seek professional help. But, you could always just get on social media and tell us, and then we could read it out in the end of month roundup. Maybe do that. Or you can go on email. We're unequalsequel@hotmail.com. Send us an email and we'll read out any of your thoughts in the end of month roundup. Tell us what your 1 to 9 of the Alien franchise are. Maybe you can surprise us. Who knows? If you liked us talking about Alien movies, then go back to next week and you can hear us review Alien Romulus. It will be riddled with spoilers, because all our reviews always are, because we're rubbish like that. Apologies in advance.
We now set the spoilers to the side, though. We've got good at that.
Yeah, we keep them to the end, to later.
Yeah, not the
end. We
do
give you a warning, not the end, more the middle.
Yeah.
But we'll give you a warning when spoilers are coming, or try to, at least.
Yeah.
So do go back and listen to that review. If you want to hear brilliant people talking about Alien and aliens and all these sequels in this franchise, you can do that. There are brilliant interview episodes where we talk Alien and aliens and Romulus and Prometheus and all those kind of things. So go back and have a listen to those. Whilst you're there, if you wouldn't mind hitting the auto download button, hitting the subscribe button, we're dropping your pod player of choice every single week. Really helps other people find the podcast when you do that too. But also, if you wouldn't mind tapping us out a review, we're trying to become certified Rotten Tomatoes critics because we think it would be funny. So if you could leave us a review on Apple Music, we need to get to 200 reviews. So Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, tap out a little review. We would love you forever.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Also, if you really, really like us, you want to hear extra stuff from us, get yourself onto anotherslice.com/unequal sequel, where you can get sequel sessions, which are extra bits for all of our interview episodes, some almost as long as the interview episodes themselves. Also, you'll get Box Set Mentality and Disenfranchised, 2 extra podcasts where we talk about movies that should have got a sequel and didn't, and we talk about a whole box set of movies that we've been watching. A little bit like this one. We do rankings of box sets and stuff. So, go and give that a listen.
Lovely. Yeah, next week we are reviewing Beetlejuice, which has been like 36 years since the original Beetlejuice. Not quite sure how we're going to feel about that one, to be honest. So, a little bit nervous.
I've been saying since, I think nervous is the right one. I've been saying that since it was announced. This is one I'm nervous about.
I feel like Beetlejuice had to be one of those films you had to watch as kind of a kid to get.
Yeah,
if you rewatch it now, it might not have the same charm.
Apparently, it's really big in America.
What, Beetlejuice?
And it's traditional to watch it again at Halloween, and so loads of it's still really current in America apparently. So,
Americans,
that's why we're getting this sequel.
Let us know. I've got nothing else to say. So thanks for everyone for listening. You guys are brilliant. And the reviews that people have been writing for our Rotten Tomato Challenge have been very funny and great. Please keep them coming if you can.
Yes, we love them.
We've really enjoyed. They're really funny, some of them. Anyway, thank you very much. It's a goodbye from me. Bye-bye. And it's a goodbye from him.
Bye!
See you next week. Sequel to this week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
How many times did we say Beetlejuice? Has it been 3? Should he not be here by now?
Is that what it is? It's got to be 3, is it?
3 times, right? Yeah, like Candyman.
But does it have to be Beetlejuice? Or
yeah, it could be.
It has to be in a row, doesn't it?
Yeah. For anyone listening who couldn't see Dave doing that, he did mouth the word Beetlejuice.
I didn't want him to turn up. So if there's a third one, it'll be. So I imagine Beetlejuice. Oh, he's done it. He's already gone and done it.
I'm more than happy for Michael Keaton to rock up. So it's fine.
But has he?
No.